Before maps knew corners and before owls stopped whispering advice, there was a tree. It stood in the middle of nowhere, which is how most magic places begin. But this tree didn't reach for the sky like other trees. It reached into it. It grew so high its upper branches tickled the toes of sleeping stars. Some say that's why stars twinkle, because leaves brush them every night. And at the bottom of the tree lived a guardian named Melu. She was shaped like a lion but covered in feathers. His name was Tycho, and as he touched the bark, the stars got louder. Tomorrow he climbs. She could purr and echo, and she was very good at keeping secrets. Melu's job was to watch the tree until someone brave enough climbed it, because only one child in 1,000 can hear the stars singing back. And tonight, someone did. A boy with sleep in his eyes, a map in his pocket, and a little scar shaped like a question mark near his heart. In the beginning, there was nothing but darkness. Then a light appeared. And when the light touched the darkness, it became a lion with feathered fur. Her name was Melu, and she walked through the darkness, leaving feathers behind her. And wherever the feathers fell, the path began. So Tycho followed the path, the feathers, up the branches of the night tree, across the swaying sky leaves, and into a place where the stars whispered sideways. There he found it, a river that flowed not left or right, but forward and back, the river of tomorrow. Its surface showed no reflection, only what might happen. A tower made of shells, a field of shadows shaped like people he didn't know yet, and once himself, taller, braver, standing on a mountaintop, alone. Only a voice that whispered, "You're being remembered already." "You see what could be," said Melu, curling beside him, "but not what must be." Tycho touched the water. It rippled, laughed, and showed him a creature with no face. He looked at Melu. She looked at the stars. Neither of them spoke for a long time because tomorrow was already listening. Tycho and Melu stood before a river. Its surface glittered with riddles. And as Tycho reached out to touch it, the water giggled and whispered secrets to him. They came to a hill, but it wasn't made of rock or dirt. At the top sat a creature as big as a cloud, with glasses too large for its furry face and a scarf made of whispers. It had no name because it held everyone else's name. It was made of lost things. Buttons missing from coats, keys with no doors, toys children forgot in grassy fields, even stories half told. Then it led them along a soft, glowing path where every step lit up like a firefly waking. Melu explained, "This is Memory Hill, and it's watched over by someone very sleepy. His first marble, the one he thought had rolled away beneath his house. It felt warm, like it had missed him. It opened one eye slowly and said, 'Tycho, you dropped this when you were 3. And from its paw, it offered a wooden marble. Tycho gasped. 'Nothing is truly lost,' the gentle creature murmured, 'only waiting to be remembered.' Tucked into his pocket, it made no sound, but somehow it hummed. Then Melu smiled and nodded toward the next hill where the fog moved backward and the stars began to listen again. Tycho and Melu reached the cloud gate, a staircase made of air that didn't need feet to climb. Above it floated Dream Cloud. It wasn't a storm or a fog. It was a puffball with dimples and freckles made of moonlight and a bow tie it forgot it was wearing. Dream Cloud wasn't like other clouds. While others rained, it read dreams. It listened to every dream whispered by sleepy people below. Not to be nosy, just because dreams made it feel full like pancakes do for people. And sometimes it got a little excited. As soon as Tycho stepped near, Dream Cloud squeaked, "Tycho, you dreamed of a flying turtle yesterday." Tycho blinked. I think I did. And the turtle sang opera. That part I don't remember." Dream Cloud blushed, which is hard for clouds. They're kind and curious and just a tiny bit afraid. Tycho looked at Melu, who nodded slowly. "That's how all good quests begin," she whispered, but it hummed an apology and floated upside down. "I like your dreams," it said. So Dreamcloud twirled like whipped cream and handed Tico a tiny umbrella made of paper and hope. "For when dreams try to rain too hard," it said, and then it giggled and floated away. Tico had followed starlit leaves, spoken to a cloud, held a marble of memory, and now he stood on the edge of the sky. Before him floated an island, not in the sea, but above it, an island carried by wind and will, alone, peaceful, patient. "This is Soluna," Melu said, "the place that left the map to be found only by those who believe in forgotten places." The air around the island shimmered like the hush after a really good story. They stepped onto it, no boat needed, just trust. The trees hummed lullabies from lost lands. The sand was made of old lullabies, and tiny lights blinked between the roots, memories shaped like fireflies. At the center stood a bell, not to be rung, but listened to. It whispered, "You are the last story we've been waiting for," and slowly began to rise, floating higher, not to disappear, but to make room for the next child who dares to wonder. Tico reached into his pocket and gave the marble back. He placed it beside the bell. Then Melu smiled, eyes bright and ancient, and the island, it sighed. Tico had followed starlit leaves, spoken to a cloud, held a marble of memory, and now he stood on the edge of the sky. Before him floated an island, not in the sea, but above it, an island carried by wind and will, alone, peaceful, patient. "This is Soluna," Melu said, "the place that left the map to be found only by those who believe in forgotten places." The air around the island shimmered like the hush after a really good story. They stepped onto it, no boat needed, just trust. The trees hummed lullabies from lost lands. The sand was made of old lullabies, and tiny lights blinked between the roots, memories shaped like fireflies. At the center stood a bell, not to be rung, but listened to. It whispered, "You are the last story we've been waiting for," and slowly began to rise, floating higher, not to disappear, but to make room for the next child who dares to wonder. Tico reached into his pocket and gave the marble back. He placed it beside the bell. Then Melu smiled, eyes bright and ancient, and the island, it sighed. In the beginning, there was only the gentle wild. Then one day, Tico came home. He didn't say goodbye. He just grew quieter, like a breath held beneath your pillow, or a song only dreams remember how to hum. Tico didn't tell anyone what he saw that night. He didn't have to. Some nights when the windows fog and the world forgets to hurry, you might see feathered paw prints in the moonlight or find a marble rolling across your floor softly humming. Once, someone swears they saw a cloud wearing a bow tie. The gentle wild still exists. Not on maps or in books, but in the hush between a story's last word and a listener's first dream. And maybe, just maybe, you're already there. Hush of wind through leaves, then silence that smiles.